Y'all could hear me probably without this doggone thing. Um, Ms. Vakel just running a little bit late, I presume. So y'all just sit tight. Um, Vakel just our magistrate. So yeah, there he is right now. So I apologize for having even called him out like that. But we're ready to go. I just know that some of you are here for the first time and probably just waiting to see when we get going.
Okay, folks, we will now convene the October 10, 2023 City of Daytona Beach Special Magistrate Proceedings. At the outset, I've reviewed and approved the minutes of our September 12, 2023 meeting. Do we have any announcements before we proceed with this morning's agenda?
Yes, sir. Starting on page 5, case number 14, SMG 10-23-240, Arthur Street parcel, compliance 10-9-23. Same page, case number 16, SMG 10-23-250, Lockhart Street parcel, compliance 10-9-23. Page number 6, case number 17, SMG 10-23-251, 820 Valencia Avenue, compliance 10-9-23. Also same page. Case number 20, SMG 09-23-220, 941 Lockhart is in compliance, 10-9-23. Page number 11, case number 37, SMG 05-23-136, 815 Mason Avenue, compliance 10-5-23. Page number 12, case number 43, SMG 02-23-37, 216 South Wild Olive Avenue, compliance 10-5-23. Page 13, case number 44, SMG 04-23-105, 509 East International Speedway, compliance 10-5-23. Same page, case number 45, SMG 04-23-106, 220 South Wild Olive Avenue, compliance 10-5-23. Also same page, case number 46, SMG 07-23-187, 1002 West International Speedway Boulevard, compliance 10/9/23. And I believe that's it.
All right, will all those representatives for the city of Daytona Beach who will be testifying at this morning's proceedings please stand and be sworn?
You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Case number 1, Civil Enterprises LLC. Anyone here for the respondent? Yes, sir, if you would state your name and be sworn for our secretary.
Civil?
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Did you say Mr. Phillips?
Civil.
Pardon?
Gene Civil?
Civil.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Civil, do you agree these violations existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes.
All right, then I find the respondent in noncompliance. Mr. Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for the respondent to come into compliance?
Next cutoff.
Mr. Civil, the inspector seems to think you ought to be able to have this rectified by November 8th. What say you to that?
The only thing that's standing now is I'm waiting on the glass to be installed. That was ordered a couple of weeks ago. They told me 6 to 8 weeks. So it should be in time, yes.
All right, well, if it runs late, get this man's card, give him a call, let him know what's going on.
Yes,
And we'll
what's going on.
certainly keep that in mind. So with
Yep.
that, I'll go ahead and order the respondent to come into compliance by November 8, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Once again, make sure you get his card. If it comes up late, the glass ain't here, give him a call. He'll be your best friend.
Will do.
Good luck to you.
You've got my phone number right.
Case number 2, Camille Jack LLC, Carmel Jack LLC. Okay, not seeing a respondent. What say the city?
Good morning, John Stinson, Code Inspector, City, and qualifications are on file. This was a complaint-driven case, for damaged soffits for the front and the rear. The first notice was received on 10 April 2023.
Excuse me, Mr. Vakelja. We have a note from the attorney on this. Excuse me one second.
Rewind?
Change in plan.
What's going on?
The city would like to request a continuance because the attorney that has been just assigned to this is in surgery. So we'd like to continue this case to the November cutoff, November hearing.
Very good. All right. As per the city's request, we will continue this matter in its entirety to the November 14, 2023 meeting. Case number 3, George Caffrey. Anyone here for the respondent?
Yes.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. If you would please state your name and be sworn.
George Caffrey,
You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Mr. Caffrey, do you agree these violations existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Excuse me, sir, I'm a little hard of hearing.
Do you agree these conditions existed as stated in the notice?
Yes,
All right, I find the respondent in noncompliance. Mr. Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for Mr. Caffrey to come into compliance?
The next cutoff,
City seems to think you ought to be able to have it fixed by November 8th. What say you to that?
been working on it, sir, since I evicted the people.
Okay. All right, then with that, I'll go ahead and order the respondent to come into compliance by November 8, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Let me remind you, and then I'm going to stop saying it for everyone out here. If you run up short, contact this gentleman, keep him informed as to what's going on, and we will take that into consideration. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Case number 4, 555 Seabreeze LLC. Yes, sir, if you would state your name, please.
Peter Dramonis,
Spell your last name.
Drymonis, Drymonis.
Raise your hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Dramonis, do you agree this violation existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Inspector, how much time should it take to come into compliance?
Inspector Garcia, credentials on file. Saying next cutoff for now.
Okay, city seems to think you ought to be able to have it fixed by November 8th. What say you to that?
My contract, did you receive the email from my contractor?
No, I haven't seen that yet.
I sent it like 5 minutes after
They
we
do have
spoke.
permits on file, and I haven't spoke to the architect. I'd seen the notice with the architect, but I don't know how long it's going to go out. So we're just saying next cutoff, just to.
I understand. What say you?
It's a 4 to 5 month process. It's a pretty extensive remodel on the exterior facade of the Oyster Pub. So I will not be, for the next cutoff, I won't be. We're looking at like a January completion.
Educate me. What all are you doing?
We're doing a completely new facade on the outside. We had vinyl awnings before. Now we're doing an actual roof structure that comes off with a nice design work going along the outside. Completely new outside exterior. A lot of construction.
Those are yesterday's pictures.
Yeah.
I've already started.
Okay. So what's the next milestone in what you got? I assume when you're done doing whatever you're doing, this is in compliance.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay, so what's the next milestone in your march forward?
We're storming ahead at this point. I mean, we have the demo permit that began. I believe the city, we're still waiting for the permit I don't know where we're at with the permit. I looked at it online yesterday.
Yeah, I checked through and demolition permit.
All right, well, I'm going to schedule y'all to come back to our December 12, 2023 meeting.
Okay.
No December meeting, right? Mr. McKelton.
Well, I'm not feeling.
January works. My contractor said he should be done in January, barring any
We'll agree to that.
unforeseen. Yeah.
You ain't done in January, and I gave you all the way to January.
We're working away.
It's going to be a chilly spring. Okay. I will order the respondent to come into compliance by January 3, 2024, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter.
Thank you.
Is your dad Elias?
Yes, sir.
Where's Elias these days?
He's at home right now, resting.
Here or home in Greece?
Home here.
Tell him David Vical just said hi.
I will.
Good luck to you.
Yep.
Case number 5, Henley Corporation Incorporated. Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Vikelja. For the record, my name is Steve Oliver, Neighborhood Services Inspector for the City of Daytona Beach. Credentials are on file. This is a field-generated case with a stop work order without permit. First notice 6/16, and the city is requesting compliance next cutoff.
Is he here on this case?
Hmm?
There's some gentleman back here. Is he this case?
What kind of construction work were they doing without a permit?
Interior walls.
Is this the bank building?
No, it's a small strip mall business right next to the.
Okay.
Mr. McKelton, the gentleman got up. I don't know if he's here on this case or not. Okay, he says the next
Okay.
case.
Next case.
Okay, construction without a permit, okay, and compliance by next cutoff. What kind of permits are they supposed to be obtaining?
They're actually going
What
to.
work they're doing?
They're going to continue putting in smaller cubicles for business. I did have a verbal contact with the contractor on 10/6, and he's going to be obtaining permits with the city. And I did have verbal contact with Mr. Henley on 10/5, and everything seems to be going along.
Okay, so getting the permits by 11/8 is feasible.
Yes.
All right. Noted. I find the respondent in non-compliance. Order the respondent to commit to compliance by November 8, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 6, Venkata Chireddy. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent? I do see a respondent.
Good morning.
Good morning. If you would state your name and be sworn.
State your name.
Amin Ode,
Spell that.
Aminodeh.
Spell the last name again.
Odeh.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Your affiliation with the respondent, Venkata Chireddy,
Yes, sir.
what is it?
We do have the landscaping problems and that wood on the windows and all that, and I already got it taken care of.
Okay, do you have authority to speak on his behalf here today?
Yes, he's the one who sent me here.
Okay, Tony, we all right?
That's a sworn statement, he was authorized, you're saying you were authorized by?
Yes,
your-
I'm the new tenant,
Okay.
Okay.
so yeah.
All right, that having been said, do you agree these conditions existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes,
All
existing.
right, and
Yeah.
Mr. Inspector, how much time to come into compliance?
Staff is requesting come to compliance next cutoff.
City seems to think you ought to be able to be in compliance by November 8th. What say you to that?
Yes,
Okay, then I will order the respondent to come into compliance by November 8th or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Good luck to you.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Case number 7, DB 420 Holdings LLC. Yes, sir, if you would state your name.
Jim Kowalik. I'm on speaking on behalf of Gib Danauer.
Jim Kowalik.
Kowalik, yes.
Spell your last name.
Kowalak.
Raise your hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
You had an authorization you
Yeah.
wanted to give us, that would
Yeah.
be great for the record. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Kowalik, are we in agreement that these violations existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I find the respondent in noncompliance. Mr. Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for the respondent to go into compliance?
Certified Inspector Sean Batiste, next cutoff, please.
What's the work that's called for?
We've already done the soffit repair, pressure wash, painted, landscape cleaned up. We just need some windows, glass replaced, and sign blanks installed over the signs.
Windows and signs. Sometimes those can be time-consuming items. You gonna be in compliance by November 8th?
Sure hope so.
Okay, good enough for me. All right,
I've already contracted them both to be done.
yes, sir. Very good. All right, then I will order the respondent to come into compliance by November 8, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Windows and signs can be time-consuming. You come up short, contact this gentleman and keep him posted as to what's going on. Good
Okay.
luck to you.
Okay, thank you.
Case number 8, Daytona 1500 LLC.
Good morning.
Good morning. You would state your name.
Gordon Hardwick.
Sorry, say that again.
Hardwick is the last name, Hardwick. First name Gordon.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Mr. Hartwick, do you agree these violations existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
I do, Your Honor.
Pardon?
I do.
I find the respondent in noncompliance. Mr. Inspector, how much time should be required to come into compliance?
Next cutoff, please.
Mr. Hartwick, the city seems to think you ought to be able to have all this done by November 8th. What say you to that?
Respectfully, we have a unique circumstance, which sort of shared with him, and if you don't mind, I'll share with you.
Go
We
ahead.
just
Pleasure
got,
time.
we've been going through the PD approval process with the city commission for the last 8 months. We just got approved at the end of August. We are redeveloping this property. We're putting in a brand-new $6 million project for a car wash. So we've cleaned up and boarded the windows because of the vagrancy and the break-ins. So we've done what we could to clean it up temporarily, but respectfully, what our goal is to demo the property as soon as we get our permits, which we're getting ready to apply for in roughly the next 3-4 weeks. Now that we've gotten approved for the PD. The PD took us 8 months to get through the city, not a complaint, but a reality. So all the windows are currently boarded as of today.
Okay. As
Yeah.
of Friday, when I was there, if you go to the previous photo, please.
Yeah. Is there one that's not?
That one in the corner is not.
Okay.
And that's the only one I have an issue with right now. And Mr. McKelger, we've been in contact. The case has been open for a long time because of the process that he has to go through. But as far as we're concerned, we have no reservation to allowing him the time needed to get everything done.
And traversely, we'll do whatever we can to make sure we mitigate and take care of the property to keep it upkept as much as we can until that process is complete.
All right, well, what's the next event that's going to take place as you march?
We will apply for our permits, again, within the approximately next 30 days. I'm being told by our civil engineer candidly, the process through the city of Daytona is about 4 months for permitting. With permitting for, okay.
All right, then what we're going to do is we're going to reconvene at our January 9, 2024 meeting. And at that point in time, maybe you'll have a clearer picture for us to be able to start talking about a compliance state. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. In the interim, the property needs to be secured to city standards and the exterior maintained.
Yes, sir.
Failing that, you'll be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. We all good?
Very good, sir. Thank you.
Talk to you.
Thank you.
Case number 9, BDP Enterprises Incorporated. Anyone here for the respondent? Yes, ma'am. If you would state your name, please.
Francis King,
Francis King.
K-I-N-G. King.
Ms. King, if you would please be sworn by our secretary.
Raise your hand.
Oh,
Do you swear to or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Ms. King, what is your affiliation with BDP Enterprises
My son and
Incorporated?
I own it.
Pardon?
My son and I own it.
Very good. Do you agree these violations existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
Yes.
Then I find the respondent in noncompliance. Mr. Inspector, how much time should reasonably be required for the respondent to come into compliance?
The next cutoff, please.
City seems to think you ought to have this rectified by November 8th. What say you to that?
Yes.
All right, then I will order the respondent to come into compliance by November 8th or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Good luck to you.
Okay, thank you.
Case number 10, Daytona Blue Tide Group, LP. Do we have anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Good morning, Inspector Bostwick. City credentials on file. All right, this was a citizen's complaint opened up on July 28 of 2023, overgrown vacant lot with trash and debris. First notification was on August 15th of 2023. Property was posted. Compliance was due by August 25th of 2023. Last day of reinspection was October the 6th. Result, non-compliance. Was a no contact from the owner. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
All this vacant land somewhere on East International Speedway?
Yes, sir. Right over there on ISB Bridge.
I guess I need to drive up and down Broadway a little more often. All right, in any event, noting the absence of the respondent based upon the testimony of our inspector, I find the respondent in noncompliance and order the respondent to come into compliance. By November 8, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Thank you. Case number 11, Evelina and Shawan Darrell Brockington. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
All right, this was a citizen's complaint. Case was opened back in September 20th of 2022 at pods, outside storage, trash and debris on a vacant lot. First notification was on June 21st of 2023. Property was posted. Compliance was due by July 22nd of 2023. Last day of reinspection was October 9th. Result, non-compliance. I've been in touch with the owner. They are making progress. The pods were moved, so just the outside storage needs to be, Moved.
All right, noting the absence of the respondent, based upon our inspector's testimony, I find the respondent in noncompliance. In order the respondent to come into compliance by November 8, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 12, Eric L. Walker Sr.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. You Mr. Walker?
Yes.
If you would be sworn by our secretary?
State your name for the record, please.
Eric Walker.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Do.
Thank you.
Mr. Walker, do you agree these violations existed or occurred as stated in the notice of violation?
No, sir.
No. All right, then let's hear from our inspector first. Mr. Inspector?
All right, this case was field generated open on May 12th of 2023, unpermitted accessory structures and sheds on a vacant lot. First notification was on May 19th of 2023. Compliance was due by August 31st of 2023. Last day of reinspection was August 5th. Result non-compliance. I've been in contact with the owner a few months back. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Okay, the citation here is unpermitted storage sheds and structure on a vacant lot. First off, this is a vacant lot?
Yes, sir.
What makes it a vacant lot? Just that there's nothing on it except for these sheds?
There's no physical structure. The only time you can have accessory structures on a vacant lot, you have to have a permanent house, like a home.
Gotcha.
And you can have, a permitted structure added. There's no house.
So we don't have a house and we don't have a permit.
Correct.
Okay, what say the respondent?
That was my house next door that was in the picture.
Okay,
Back in 2012, when it brought these sheds over from Deltona at my brother's property, got sick and we had to move his stuff over there. Came to the city to get a permit for those sheds. They told me because they were portable sheds and I was not pouring a slab, I didn't have to have a permit. But they did say I have to have the anchors in for a hurricane. And then they came out and inspected the anchors that was put in there. So both sheds were put in compliance with the city. And they've been there since 2012. Back in 2015, I worked for the power company. I got relocated over to Sarasota, Florida. I agree they need to be moved at this point because I did sell the house. Only thing I needed was time. And that's why I asked for the 90 days and I went to get it done. I was coming, all those trees are on there, it was overgrown, all that's taken care of already. The sheds are there. The morning, we rented a trailer coming up, we were gonna clean one
cut
up.
to the chase, how much time are you looking for?
Probably till January. I work for the power company, so I can't really
Give me a
get off.
number.
Excuse me?
Give me a number. 30 days,
The end of
60
Jan-
days,
the end of
90
January.
days? So if I give you to the end of the January, those sheds are gonna be gone.
And the carport, and, yeah. probably
And the what?
And the carport also, there's a carport there next to it also.
And you're telling me they got there to begin with because you were led to believe that as long as you secured them, they were allowed?
Yeah, that came from the city. And,
Oh,
and-
all right,
and
all
I
right,
believe
all
the
right,
minimum-
slow down, slow
Okay.
down, slow down.
Like
So
that
if I
tra-
give you
the
till
trailer still
February
needs-
7, these things are gonna be gone.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, Mr. Inspector, other than the fact that you want them gone yesterday, these things pose any kind of a hazard? Man says he was told he was allowed to have them. What say y'all to that?
Well, first of all, when you're putting in accessory structures, you got to have them 6 feet from each other. So pretty much all three of them are lined up within 6 feet of each other. So they're just wrong.
Okay.
So I don't think it's a hazard or anything. The only thing I would like for them to do is to continue to keep the lot cut and cleaned. We'll give them until February to have the
Okay.
I do have a lawn service taking care of the grass.
All right, well, stay on them. I'm gonna order the respondent to come into compliance by February 7, 2024, and in the interim, that lot is to be maintained. That means the yard cut.
Okay.
Failing that, or failing your lawn service failing that, you will be returned here for me to consider the imposition of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter.
I understand.
So you all good to go?
Yeah.
Good luck to you.
Mr. Vikelja, did you find him in noncompliance?
If I did not already, I find the respondent in noncompliance. What?
Just one more thing. The inspector has my email address, phone number. That he nailed some piece of paper to the tree out there with my personal information on it. I don't think that's necessary. He has my phone number, he has my email address, he has my address. There's no need to put my personal information nailed to a tree.
Well, then I will ask our inspector to just communicate with you via
Yeah.
email or
Please,
telephone.
thank you.
For
It's
the
called due
Well,
process.
hang on a second.
For the record, by statute, he has to post a property, so that's why it was nailed to the tree.
Well, he didn't put his own address up there, so he shouldn't put mine. I mean, he could blank out my personal information.
Okay, well, that's already done.
Yeah.
So let's move on.
Okay,
And come into compliance.
will do.
Make sure the lot looks nice between now and February, and we'll be done.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Okay.
Case number 13, Adiba Shuja. Is there anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
All right, this case was field generated, open on August 4th of 2023, overgrown vacant lot. First notification was on August 31st of 23. Property was posted. Compliance was due by August 10th. Last day of reinspection was October 5th, 2023. Result non-compliance. No contact from the owner. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon our inspector's testimony and the photographs presented, I find the respondent in non-compliance. Order the respondent to come into compliance by November 8, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 14 is already in compliance. Case number 15, Daytona Beach Bella Vista Incorporated. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
All right, this case was staff observed, open on August 28th of 2023, overgrown vacant lot. First notification was on September 1st of 2023. Compliance was due by September 11th. Last day of reinspection was October 6th. Result, non-compliance. There's been no contact from the owner. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon our inspector's testimony and the photographs presented, I find the respondent in noncompliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by November 8, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 16 is in compliance. Case number 17 is in compliance. Case number 18, Carol Dilligard Estate. Is there anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
All right, this case was field generated, open on August 16th of 2023. The abutment area outside the property is overgrown along with the fence line, trash and debris. First notification was on August 29th of 23. Property was posted. Compliance was due by September 10th of 2023. Last day of reinspection was October the 5th. Result non-compliance. There's been no contact from the owner. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent, having heard the testimony of our inspector and seen the photographs presented, I find the respondent in noncompliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by November 8, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 19, Verona V. LLC. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
All right, this was a citizen's complaint. Case was opened on August 10th of 2023. Overgrown vacant lot, trash and debris. First notification was on August 14th of 2023. Compliance was due by August 24th of 2023. Last day of reinspection was October 5th. Result, non-compliance. There's been no contact from the owner. Staff requests a finding of non-compliance with compliance due next cutoff.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon our inspector's testimony and the photographs presented, I find the respondent in noncompliance and order the respondent to come into compliance by November 8, 2023, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 20 is in compliance. Case number 21, Daryl Jones. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
All right, since the last hearing, no progress or contact was made. Staff requests a fine of $250 a day with a max of $15,000.
Noting the absence of the respondent based upon our inspector's testimony and the photographs presented, I'm going to fine the respondent the sum of $250 per day commencing October 5, 2023, and that fine will continue to accrue each day thereafter until the property is in compliance or the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $15,000. Case number 22, Derek Smith. Is there anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
All right, since the last hearing, no progress or contact. Staff requests a fine of $250 a day with a max of $15,000.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon the testimony of our inspector and the photographs presented, I'm fining the respondent the sum of $250 per day commencing October 5, 2023, and that fine will continue to accrue each day thereafter until the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $15,000 or the property's been brought into compliance.
Thank you.
Case number 23, COSI Investment LLC, and Emil A. Dotel and Miriam P. Aversano. Anyone here for the respondent?
Good afternoon, or good morning, Your Honor. This is Barry Hughes. I'm here on behalf of the respondent.
Good morning, Mr. Hughes. All right, counsel's here on behalf of the respondent. My notes indicate this was continued from the September meeting for the purpose of establishing a compliance date. So let me ask our inspector, what would you propose in the way of a compliance date?
I would like compliance next cutoff. They did maintain or cut the yard, but they still have not submitted anything to the city for a minor site plan approval. This case, the current owners.
Parking lot?
Yeah, this is the one where they're supposed to be doing a parking lot. I did have communications from the attorney yesterday. He provided documentation that the owner has hired an architect. They sent a letter of intent dated 9/11, stating that the minor site plan would be submitted to the city within 3 weeks, which would have been on the 10th, October 2nd of this year. Nothing has been submitted. I was told they're still out trying to hire a surveyor. This has been going on.
Barry, we're about done with this, buddy. This
I hear you. This is really old, and I don't disagree. And I had a conversation with Mr. Jones yesterday, and I told him the same. This is old. The letter of intent was sent to the city on September 11th. Mr. Jones never received a copy of it. I provided him a copy. The site plan requires a survey, a topographical survey. I provided Mr. Jones a copy of the receipt showing that that's been paid for. My understanding and listening to the hearings before my hearing that it takes 3 to 4 months to get the permit once it's submitted. And Mr. Jones is correct. I believe that it has not been submitted. This is old, Your Honor. I hear you loud and clear.
Okay,
But
I know this has
we're not.
I know this has been a bit of a thorny issue, but this is real simple. So the next step in the process is what? The submission of that site plan?
Yes, sir.
If that site plan is not submitted by 11/8/23, then it's fine time.
I received your message.
Okay, then I'm going to postpone, or I'm going to, what are we here for? Establishing a compliance date?
Yes, sir.
So the compliance, I would think, would be submission of the site plan by November 8th, 2023.
All right, then I'm going to order that by November 8, 2023, the site plan that you and your client have been telling me is on its way needs to be filed. Failing that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find the respondent. I'll consider finding the respondent up to $1,000 per day until the property's in compliance. All right, hold a second. I got to figure this out.
It won't be in compliance, sir, with the site plan submittal, but at least it'll be a progress that is going on. They won't be in compliance by just submitting the minor site plan.
All right, then we're going to continue this matter to the November 14, 2023 meeting. And by that time, I'm expecting the site plan to have been filed. Failing that, I'm going to go ahead and schedule the compliance date for the following month, and then we'll just let the chips fall where they may.
I understand.
Good luck to you.
Yeah, Your Honor, I have a lien review sort of at the end of this, so if you want, I can sign off and come back in about an hour.
Is it contested?
I don't believe so.
Is it stipulated to?
Mr. Jackson?
Sometimes we have some of these things, and you guys have worked them out in advance. If it's
This
been
is
worked out, then I don't mind doing it now. Otherwise, then we're following the agenda.
Yeah, Ms. McKellar, it's not contested. There's actually, this one is going to be an administrative request from the city to rescind a prior
waive the fine.
lien review. Was that what that was?
It's to waive the fine, sir.
Yeah, we need to waive the fine. There was
They came into
some
compliance.
issues that arose from the initial
Which lien review is
finding.
it?
It's
miscellaneous
miscellaneous business
business.
3 and 4.
Barry, we talking about miscellaneous business 3 and miscellaneous business 4?
Yes, sir.
Any reason those two things can't be consolidated?
The city wanted to keep them not consolidated because they wanted to double the fine. In essence.
Bring me up to current events here. I'm hearing something different now.
Yeah, basically my client owns 2 oceanfront parcels, and they were cited for failure to maintain the seawall. And my client contracted for and had the seawall completed. By the time we were required to have it completed, we were told that we did not have to attend the hearing, that we were in compliance, and no one attended the hearing, and unfortunately the lien was imposed. So we provided the city with the email exchanges showing, yeah, we're in compliance and that we don't need to attend the hearing, and that's why I believe that they're agreeing to remove the fines.
Yeah, if I can.
Hear from our city attorney. Mr. City Attorney, miscellaneous business item 3. What say the city?
Yes, Anthony Jackson, attorney for the city. Mr. Hughes, I looked at what you had sent us, and we agree that indeed the inspector did inform your client that they were in compliance. There may have been a small amount of time that passed, but ultimately the circumstances that was several months before there was any type of recorded orders or anything to that effect. We believe that the cleanup for that would be for us to just go ahead and ask for the fine to be rescinded and to and dismiss the case from that point forward.
Okay, well, let's back up for my edification. Has the work been done?
Yes, it was completed. The reason there were 2 of them, I think it was a continuation of a seawall, so.
All right, fair enough. With regard to miscellaneous business item number 3, based upon the stipulation of the city, I'm going to go ahead and cancel and/or vacate the order imposing fine lien. And it's my understanding the city is dismissing that proceeding.
Yes, no further proceeding is necessary. The finding of compliance was proper. The finding of non-compliance was proper, but the property is now in compliance, so there's nothing further.
Noted that the property is now in compliance.
Yes,
All right, miscellaneous business 4, same outcome?
that's correct.
All right, with regard to miscellaneous business 4, I am also ordering that the order imposing fine lien be canceled and/or vacated, that the matter be noted that I now find that the property is in compliance. Well, I guess that's it. And I now find that the property is in compliance.
Yep, that would take care of everything.
All right, we done, Barry?
Yep, have a great day.
See you later. Case number 24, Indigo Lakes Golf Club, LP. Okay, who's going to be speaking on behalf of Indigo Lakes? Okay. Ladies, just stand by. You don't have to be sworn yet. I don't know that I need to hear from you. All right, Counselor, announce your appearance for the record, and let's get moving.
And here on behalf of Indigo Lakes. I do have some.
Okay, that's all I need for now.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Inspector, this matter's here for the imposition of a fine?
Yes, sir. Good morning. Inspector Roosevelt, Butler Code Compliance, credentials on file with the City of Daytona Beach. As it pertains to 312 Indigo Drive, 400, since July court proceedings, I've had contact with the property manager and the attorney, as there has been no progress. Staff requests a fine of $250 a day to a maximum of $25,000.
All right, Counselor, what say the respondent?
Okay, thank you so much for your time. Again, I have some evidence binders that I would like to enter into evidence.
You're welcome to give the attorney whatever you want. Is it your intent to revisit the determination?
Well, I want to address the compliance status because I did bring some photos.
Not going to do it. We're here on the imposition of a fine. We had multiple hearings. We reviewed evidence on multiple occasions. We made a determination. If it's your intent to revisit whether I should have found the respondent in non-compliance or not doing it.
Well, at the last hearing, the respondent had 30 days or until October, I think it was 4th or 5th, to come into compliance. So I brought photos to show that the work has been done. There were, because the thing is
Settle down, ladies. Let the ladies speak, please. Go ahead.
I mean, just for due process, all I'm asking is for 5 minutes. That's
I'll give
it.
you 5 minutes. So just substantively, we've gone back over the liability phase, if you will, multiple times. So you're telling me you're in compliance?
We are in compliance as far as what's located on our client's property, and I have photos to show that.
I'll accept your representation to that effect, and that's insufficient.
No, I have photos to show that the corrective action, because as you may recall.
The corrective action didn't include the entire scope of work that was to be done. And I understand your client contends he's being forced to work on property that isn't his, and nobody has any right to do that. We've gone over that. So if you're telling me this work isn't done in toto, and notwithstanding what you have done, then you're still in non-compliance. So is that what you're telling me?
Correct. I have just 2 aerials that I wanted to show you. We're able to do.
I'll give you all the time you want. I'm just alerting you to my concerns so that you can use your time wisely. You done? Yes, sir. I know what y'all have to say. Go right ahead.
Okay. So the first thing I have is I brought some evidence binder, one for the court reporter, one for the clerk, and one for you.
Okay. Can somebody pass that up here for this lady? Okay, and Counselor, your name again?
It's 2THU, and last name Pham, Pham. So what I have here is, as you may recall, the notice of violation had 4 distinct corrective actions that were required. 1, remove the tree north of 280. The tree, the dead tree that fell over on our client's property north of 280. The second thing was to clean the ditch north of 280. The third was to clean the culvert located behind lot 293. And the fourth was to clean the culvert behind lot 267. So in regards to the tree north of 280, that was removed a while back. So that has been completed. In regards to the culvert behind 267, that's located behind our client's, on our client's property. And the reason why that wasn't completed, just so you're aware, is that I contact CEO Butler because I kept asking him exactly where is this culvert located at, because I looked at the engineering plans for the subdivision and the engineering plans for the golf course, and neither one shows a culvert being constructed. So we were able to, however, because this is a really large piece of property, we were able to then take very close-up view of the aerials from the property appraiser's website and finally identify an area that looks like it's potentially the culvert. So as soon as we pointed that out to the client, our client went out and cleaned it. So I have photos of it being cleaned attached to tab 4 if you wanted to take a look at that.
I got an aerial view of some roofs and
Yeah, so you see the elevated.
I guess red dot is the culvert you're identifying?
Correct.
And I see a nasty looking culvert.
Right, so there were trees and stuff that, not trees, but bushes around that culvert. So our client had removed all of that. So that was completed. So the only other two items is to clean the ditch north of 280. And so for that, I included in tab 2, the first photo is an aerial from the property appraiser's website. And I circled the area that contains the ditch, where you can see that it's within the lot line of 280. But if you flip to the next page, we did an even closer up aerial. And it clearly shows that it's within lot 280. And then what I attached is the plat, which I drew a circle around the area where that ditch is supposed to be located. It's supposed to be within that 15-foot drainage easement. And it clearly shows that it's within, what's depicted as number 10 is 280. And then I also included the fine.
For a second, so who would have constructed that ditch?
The developer for the Unit 5 PUD, which is not the golf course. Unit 5 PUD is the subdivision with single-family homes. So this ditch and drainage system is to supply, to surface the drainage for that development, not for the golf course. The golf course is part of a separate development. So so that's the first page. The second page of the final subdivision plan, I called out. It actually had depicted where the ditch is, so I called that out. It's kind of tiny. I'm sorry, but the next page is the engineering plans, which shows that the ditch is constructed inside the lot line for what's depicted as 10, which is Unit 280. The next page, there's actually even a note that says this is to be constructed behind those lots. And then the page after that is an overall picture with that same note, and clearly showing that ditch is located within these individual lots. And so I point that out because the final plat, the final subdivision plan, and the final engineering plans, those were all documents approved by the city. So it's not a private document or anything like that. So to the extent there's construction, it's supposed to comply with that. So as you can see, the final plat, the recorded plat, the final subdivision plan, the engineering plan, all support what's depicted in the property appraiser's aerial, which is the ditch is located within the property boundary for 280. So that's 280. The next one is 290.
You're claiming you don't have any obligation to do anything.
Well, it's within the 280's property boundary. It was developed as part of the stormwater drainage system for Unit 5 PUD, which is the subdivision.
You're claiming you don't have obligation.
Correct. Correct, because it's not ours.
So you haven't done it.
No, we can't, right.
You haven't done it.
Correct.
What else?
So the next one is 293 Brayburn Circle. Well, then the other thing is, I know in the past there was statements regarding notes on a survey and stuff like that, or private agreements. But what I wanted to point out to you is the final plat, which is what is recorded and approved by the city, has a note that says that the individual lot owners are responsible for maintaining whatever's located within the 15-foot easement. And so that's located within the 15-foot easement or whatever's used to be part of the drainage system for the subdivision. The final subdivision plan also has a note, it's note 11, that states the same exact thing. So those two are documents that were approved by the city, which governs this subdivision. Regarding the culvert behind 293, the first, on tab 3, the first aerial, I drew a circle around where the culvert is located at, and it's well within the property boundary of 293. And one thing I want to point out regarding 293 is that to the extent...
A stormwater culvert that leads to what, a lake?
I don't know, I'm not an engineer, I'm assuming that's...
The dark green stuff on the bottom left part, is that a lake?
It's a lake.
So this is a culvert leading to a lake.
Correct.
It's on private property,
Mm-hmm.
and you have no obligation to maintain it.
Right, it doesn't service any part of the golf course. It doesn't, the drainage system for the golf course is independent, is separate from the drainage system for this subdivision. The stormwater engineering design was designed to drain water for this subdivision. So under Florida, I watched some of the video, and it was, you have some land use experience, so and with my limited knowledge, the way I understand stormwater design is that you're supposed to design your stormwater system so that it doesn't negatively impact adjacent lands. So because the golf course is not part of this PUD, when the engineering plans were created for Unit 5 PUD, it was meant to only address Unit 5 PUD, which is not the golf course. Yes, so regarding what I wanted to point out regarding 293 is that, the lot line actually goes into the water. So to the extent that it's deemed that that culvert belongs to the golf course, it would literally mean that we would be able to cut off access to 293. So I'm sure the lot owner for 293 isn't going to be happy with that. So I think that's a concern. Well, I'm just pointing that out because sometimes, people don't think through all the legal ramifications. Not you, I'm talking about the neighbors. So the second aerial is a close-up, and you can clearly see that culvert well within the property boundary. The next page is the note providing for responsibility.
The next page is the plat.
Mm-hmm.
Next page is another note. Next page is a plat and a note.
Yes. This next page, it's real important. I wanted to point out to you, it's a little bit small, so that's why I brought in, I actually have a digital copy for the clerk right here, if you want, because you can blow it up and see. But there's a note. You see that little yellow highlight? There's actually a note. I'm pointing towards that note right there. That note says that, mentions the development of the inlet specifically within Lot 12. So not only is it depicted to be located in Lot 12, but there's actually a note that says it will be developed in Lot 12. And, to be extra careful when constructing that inlet within Lot 12. It was Lot 12 and Lot 24, but 24 is not relevant. The next one is just the engineering plan that, again, shows the culvert. And so that's what I have. The tab 4, again, is just photos of proof of compliance.
So to summarize all this, what have we not done?
The only thing we have not done is clean out the culvert behind 293, because that's clearly within... Okay.
What have we not done?
Clean the ditch north of 280, and the culvert...
Between 293.
Yes.
That it?
That's correct. Everything else is done.
Say the city.
as she stated, the ditch north of 280, as you can see, has not been touched in a year and a half. 293 hadn't been touched at all. 267, the west corner, directly across from the cul-de-sac, has not been touched in a year and a half. So therefore, it's still non-compliance.
Can I?
You want to be heard on this?
Well, two issues. One would be that,
Do me a favor if you would.
yes, certainly, yes.
For me, please. All right, go ahead. Because you and I and Ms. Ham may be talking for a minute. Go ahead.
Certainly. Well, first of all, we're being asked to revisit rulings that you've already made.
I know you are. Has any of the material presented by council caused you to revisit, reconsider, or rethink the determination we've already made regarding the respondent's responsibility to clean out these facilities?
No, it does not.
Okay.
Uh,
Has anything she's mentioned or articulated caused you to reconsider the city's determination based on the materials it reviewed and based on the materials it provided me, that I can't recall in intimate detail, but I do recall having been persuaded that it was Indigo's responsibility to maintain these facilities. So has she brought up anything new or different that you weren't aware of that would cause you to reconsider the city's determination in this matter?
No, there's nothing that would cause me to reconsider. I understood her point, her reference to the note on the plat. I believe in fact, I'm satisfied that our ordinance, our land development code is clear. Those were notes between the obligations of owners presumed by the developers. It has nothing to do with the mere fact that the city approved the plans, does not approve that agreement as part of that approval.
Can I just make one comment on that?
You said you were going to talk for 5 minutes.
Okay.
How long are you going to talk now?
Oh, I just want to mention that it wasn't an agreement. It was part of the final subdivision plan approved by the city. The note was on the front page, so it wasn't a separate declaration. It wasn't anything. It was actually the note in front of the subdivision plan that was approved. The second item is regarding, I'm so sorry.
Out of curiosity, hypothetically, who was responsible for cleaning that ditch in 280?
Well, according to the final subdivision note on the final subdivision plan that was approved by the city, which is what would govern this development, it specifically stated that it was the responsible of the individual lot owners, and to the extent one lot owner did not maintain their stuff, that another lot owner can come over and clean the area.
Who's responsible for maintaining that culvert we've been discussing? Same answer?
The same answer. Again, the golf course is not part of this subdivision. It's a separate development. It was not included in the final subdivision plan. It was not included in the plat. It was not included in for Unit 5 PUD. It wasn't included in any of that.
Golf course part of some master plan that started this whole thing to begin with?
Correct, but the final,
Assurances made on those plans as far as responsibility of maintenance of facilities and what have you?
no, it was only made on the plat.
Laws that come into play and ordinances that come into play regarding what can or can't be parsed out of them?
Correct. So the final subdivision plan contains all in the engineering plans is what contains the technical stuff that the city approved, presumably in compliance with their code. So to the extent that it's in compliance with their code, that is what governs the subdivision. And then the private parties can then enter into separate declarations and whatever it is that they want to do and allocate responsibilities however way they want to do that. But from the government's perspective, when you go to do the development, they will look at the final subdivision plan, and the final subdivision plan did not address the golf course. So that's why it never said, allowed the golf course owner the right to go onto these lots, because it's not part of the golf course development. It's part of the Unit 5 PUD development. And the only other thing I wanted to mention is CEO Butler said nothing was done behind 263. I don't know when those photos were taken. They're not date stamped because usually, you go out there a couple days before the hearing and take the photos again. I was trying to contact CO Butler for, I don't know, a week and a half, trying to get the photos and having him identify, okay, exactly where it is that it's an issue. So, I can talk to my client accordingly. And no success. So then I asked for the photos ahead of the hearing for due process issues because we're supposed to have, be fully apprised of what, the issue is so that we can address it at the hearing. And I couldn't get any photos despite 2 public records requests, despite emailing CO Butler several times, despite calling him. I was never able to get any of the photos. And he said that well, right, because the photos we're looking at right now, for example, I don't know when these were taken because he said that nothing was done other than the removal of the tree. But I have photos showing that, because the notice of violation specifically said.
I understand your argument, but you've already conceded to me that you haven't done what was ordered.
No, we cleaned the culvert around 267. That was the corrective action that was required in the notice of violation.
That was one of the corrective.
Correct. So
There were other corrective actions, some of which you did, some of which you did not.
Correct, but he had mentioned the corner at 267, which is not part of the corrective action that was listed in the notice of violation.
Okay. All right.
Then there's the notice of violation. I don't have a copy of it before me, but I'm sure it was to clean the culvert. And what we addressed and reviewed throughout this lengthy process was the necessity for the drainage to flow. And that would, of course, through growth, would include areas that may not have been at the initial observation of the inspector, but it continues to, as a whole, we addressed the continuation of the drainage. The fact that the plats point out and make note of necessity for allowance of entry and onto the lots and address the various issues that she expressed shows the intent of these parties to try and establish these rights that she said were already in place. They weren't in place, otherwise they wouldn't be trying to establish the rights on the plats themselves. So ultimately, what was approved was for these to be constructed, and what was remaining was the fact that these ditches have to be cleared and cleaned. Our desire and our goal throughout this whole process has been that these ditches be cleared and cleaned. We had a full hearing. It was all heard and considered. It was clearly instructed by the magistrate. That's the magistrate's order that for them to be cleared and cleaned. And so here we are today with them not being cleared. And the answer is that the first thing you ever said was only this space here. But the reality is that throughout this hearing and the ultimate orders of the magistrate was that they be cleared. And that was made clear to the respondent. The fact that the respondent chose to come to all the prior proceedings without counsel would not change the orders that have been put in place and the proceedings that have taken place.
So I'm so sorry. The notice of violation, I attach it, tab 1, second page. So, it specifically lists what the corrective actions are. My second thing is that code enforcement does not work where it's a ever revolving door. You notify the respondent of what the alleged code violation is, and then, that provides them with sufficient notice, supposedly, and for them to address it. We don't then later on, without any notice or anything, say, well, there's these other areas within this 250-acre parcel that's an issue, and you're going to have to just go address it, and notifying us for the first time during a code enforcement hearing.
Counselor, with all due respect, we accommodate your client and give him every opportunity to present everything he wanted to. We even went back at his request and revisited everything we had done before, just to satisfy ourselves that we had done what we were supposed to do. So I understand your notice argument, but it's not doing much for me. Now, Madam Secretary, make sure Counselor's binder is part of the record. Did you have anything else you wanted to add to the record or anything else you wanted to say before I make a decision?
Yeah, just one other thing. She indicated that we did not send the respond to the records request. I know that the records request was indeed responded to, at least as of yesterday. Of course, I'd spoken to their counsel. I've been in a seminar last week. They sent it directly to me at one point, and that request was a little bit general. The secretary did not have all of that clarity in terms of what was being requested. And so when they followed up with me, we ensured that everything that they were asking for was sent.
Okay, now we have three ladies here. Pick a spokesperson. I only want to hear from one of you.
Well,
Just a second. State your name and be sworn by the secretary.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am, my only question is, do you have anything to say that I haven't heard before other than the ongoing indignation? over this
Actually,
issue?
I don't.
Okay.
But I do appreciate the fact that this is golf course property and that you all have been able to review it and you're making the right decision based on what has been recorded. And I want to thank all of you for that.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, having heard both sides, then I am finding the respondent the sum of $250 per day commencing October 5, 2023. And that fine will continue to accrue each day thereafter until the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $25,000. I'm going to ask one more time before we all part. Have you got everything in your record that you want or that you'd like to have?
No, I would like to add something else. Regarding the fine, statute says that you're supposed to make the fine amount based on the gravity of the violation, the actions taken to correct the alleged violation, and the previous violation allegedly committed by the client. So to the extent there is a finding, I request that you state, the 250, what was the basis for that, based on those three criteria. The other thing is, I'd like, if you were to find us to be not in compliance, I read through the orders. It was not very clear on what the basis was to fine our client being responsible for storm system, a neighbor storm system that doesn't supply their property, and what's the basis for finding that it belongs to our client's property. So that's what I would like. And then, of course, I'd like to incorporate all these documents, including, declarations and stuff that I have attached that all come to support what is shown on the aerial, the property appraiser's aerials.
Provide a copy to the secretary. She'll see to it this part of the record.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, one last item. I've been requesting for the photos. I never could get a copy of the photos of, that was taken supposedly.
Freedom of Information Act request you made?
Yes, I made two.
I don't know that that's within my purview.
Well, so my point is that to the extent you find us not in violation, I request that all the photos that were taken by the city.
Found the respondent in non-compliance.
Right. So I'm requesting all the photos that the city took to support that be included in the record and provided to us, because I was never able to get copies. And, the attorney says that our request was vague. I asked specifically for the code enforcement file. So the entire code enforcement file would include the photos that were taken to show, a violation. It would include.
With respect, you're bringing up administrative matters that, quite frankly, you and counsel.
Yeah, if I just can clear one
ought to
thing.
be dealing with yourself, and I can't believe that as attorneys in the state of Florida and adults, you can't work that out yourselves.
If I could just say this, though, just for clarification.
What I'm going to order in that regard is do it.
Yeah, as far as for clarification of the record, I received a request on Thursday of last week.
You already explained this to me.
But
I want to revisit it again.
Yes,
I've got
sir.
a crowd full of people that, with all due respect to Indigo, they're not interested in Indigo at all.
Only
They're
other,
waiting for their cases to be called.
the only other thing was that these photos are date stamped as of yesterday, I believe it was. So she won't have those. She would not have had those in advance, but she will be able to obtain those. That's all.
That it?
Yep.
Very good. Thank you. Case number 25, Willie Gilmore. Anyone here for the respondent?
Good morning.
Good morning.
State your name.
Juliet Parker.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Is your last name Merker?
Parker.
I'm sorry, Parker. Okay, this matter is here for the imposition of a fine, so what say the city?
Hey, good morning. Sarah Kirk, Inspector with the city. My credentials are on file. Since the last hearing, there has been progress. The interior has been completed. Right now, we are just waiting on the dumpster enclosure with the City Hall permitting department. So I'd like to ask to amend one more time for compliance to the next cutoff.
Okay, what say Ms. Parker?
I agree.
All right. Based upon the stipulation of the parties, I will amend our current order of noncompliance to allow the respondent until November 8th, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Good luck to you. Case number 26, 1995 Big Island Trust dated August 8, 2020. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Since the last hearing, I've had no contact and there has been no progress. Staff is requesting a $100 a day fine to a max of $15,000.
Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon the testimony of the inspector and the photographs presented, I'm fining the respondent the sum of $100 per day commencing October 5, 2023. That fine will continue to accrue each day thereafter until the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $15,000 or the property is brought into compliance. Case number 27, Florida, LLC. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Since the last hearing, there has been a lot of progress. It is almost in compliance. I feel that by the next cutoff, they will be in compliance, so I'd like to ask to amend to the next cutoff.
Based upon our inspector's report, I will amend our current order of noncompliance to allow the respondent till November 8, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 28, Be Good Developments, LLC. Is there anyone here for the respondent?
I am in the case number 28. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yes, sir. If you would please state your name and be sworn, and we have Mr. Hopkins, you here on this one?
I think he's got the wrong case.
He may have been here for 27.
145 Orange Avenue.
It's not my
Which case, what property is yours, sir?
934 South Ridgewood.
That's going to be
It's
case
32.
30.
Case number 32. He's here for 32.
Okay, you're early, sir.
Okay.
Stand by, please. All right, case number 28, Be Good Developments, LLC.
State your name.
My name is Joe Hopkins.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, I have this down for a progress report and determination of a compliance date. So, Mr. Hopkins, what's the progress?
Progress report is that we're still working with permits and licensing to secure a building permit to proceed with the interior renovations.
Place right around the corner here?
Sure is, yes. Yes.
Okay.
As far as the other issues of non-compliance, in overgrowth, trash and debris and so forth, the property owners have maintained the property as best they can. So I don't believe it's not in compliance at this point. We just need to finish with permits and licensing to secure our building permit.
And any guesstimate as to when that's going to happen?
Last time I was before you, I thought we would be there by now, but we're not. Some confusion regarding the drawings that are going to be assigned to the permit. I'm working with Ron Roberts and Glenn Urquhart to get the correct drawings assigned to the project.
So we're back to my, any guesstimate as to when we're thinking about compliance? Let's assume everything goes according to Hoyle. When would we expect it?
Compliance would, I think we're in compliance. The fact is that we need a permit to proceed with construction. So the burden is on us to secure a building permit to proceed. As far as the issues of non-compliance, the broken glass, debris, and things of that sort, that's all been rectified. So the burden is on us to secure the building permit so that we can proceed and utilize the property. And that's what we're working on now.
Well, the expired permits are also part of your case, which is what your permits. So your permits need to be finalized for you to come into compliance and all the work done. So that's why you're clearly in non-compliance still and will continue to be in non-compliance until the work is complete. Just so you guys understand.
When do we expect the work to be complete? And I'll take an answer from anybody.
The city's proposing January.
Okay, is this a 2-month project, a 6-month project, a 1-year project? I got no clue.
I think, Mr. McKelvey, in terms of securing a building permit for the interior renovations, I think that we can adhere to that. Have that issue, have the permit issued, and have the interior renovations completed by January. We have an application on file. We have a contractor listed. There's a permit application on file with the city as we speak. And the only issue that we have is to have the drawings that were previously permitted assigned to the current application. And that's been more than an issue than I was prepared to address. So we're working directly with permits and licensing to get this resolved. And as soon as we do.
He says it ought to be done by January. You say the interior could be done by January. Does that mean we're all on the same page?
Yes.
We're done?
Yes.
In January?
Yes.
Okay, but you don't want to set a compliance date for January yet, because you're still in administrative land.
Correct.
When do you, all right, well, how do we clear this blockage? When does something start moving so we can start predicting a compliance date with some certainty?
Well, I think if we're able to secure the permit and do the renovations that are necessary, we would be in compliance by January. I mean, to do inspections and things of that sort to close out these permits that he's referring to.
And you're proposing a January compliance date?
Yes, sir.
We share the same desire to see it closed.
Me too.
So January, I think, is our position as well.
All right, then I'll order the respondent to come into compliance by January 3, 2024, or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. I know I don't need to tell you, but I'm going to say it anyway. Looks to me like you got a few administrative hurdles you're still wrestling with. So if they delay you or what have you, make sure you notify your inspector and keep him posted as to progress so we can take it all into consideration should any problems arise.
Fair enough. Thank
Up to
you.
you.
All right.
Case 29, Lauren and Herb Kawesh. Anyone here for the respondent? I'm sorry, what now?
Yes, sir. Zoom.
Okay. Mr. Kawesh?
Yes, sir.
All right, if you would please state your name and be sworn by our secretary.
Herbert Cowish.
Raise your hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, this matter is here for the imposition of a fine, so let's hear from our inspector.
Since the last hearing, I've had no contact and I haven't noted any progress. The city's asking for a fine of $200 a day to max at $15,000.
Mr. Kawesh, the city tells me nothing's been happening and they want me to fine you $200 a day. What's going on?
Okay, I've got all the areas that needed to be repainted that were peeling have been cleaned up, painted, and finished. All the faded painting has been done. All the wood rot and rails have been replaced and repaired. The areas of deck and rails that needed to be repaired have been done. They repainted and cleaned the rust from around the AC units that needed to be done were cleaned, grime removed, painted. Let's see, second floor, 2 window panes were replaced. And we started with Mr. Weaver on the other things that required permitting.
So then, as far as you're concerned, what's left to be done?
I believe the stairway to be actually built, and I have an electrician that will need to do a water heater that's there. And then Mr. Weaver is going to talk about what he believes is the solution to the previous leveling of the 2 units in the back.
All right, I believe somebody's just joined us. Yes, sir, your name?
Steve Weaver,
You would be sworn.
and that's with a V for the transcriptionist.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, the city has indicated that little, if anything's been done. Mr. Kowesh was giving me a laundry list of things that have been done. And where we left off was I was asking him what's left to be done. So either one of you can answer that one.
Good morning, sir. Steve Weaver with Real Time Property Development Services. Mr. Cowish and his maintenance crew did do the things that he mentioned, a lot of painting and a little bit of miscellaneous woodwork throughout the location. The staircase is under construction today. I have my crew out there today. I had a substantial personal tragedy last month, and I made a commitment to you that I'd be here today. And that took a lot just to fulfill that commitment. I'm behind on the stairs. And the stairs are underway right now. The largest portion of the job remaining after that, he's going to retain an electrical contractor to do the water heater. There's 2 major structural elements that still need to be done. One of them is some weird beam transfer that was accomplished in the laundry room, and my architect, James Gilgenbach, is in the process of making a drawing for that. The meeting minutes will reflect that I felt I could have those plans ready by November, and I will, but the meeting was scheduled for October, so I'm still on the path that I predicted on that part of it, and I'm a little behind on the stairs. The main thing I have to contend today is that this is a tenant-driven complaint on the purported raising of 515 South Palmetto, the little cottage in the back, and it was purported by the tenant that that building was raised. I've investigated underneath the building. You can look at the front of it, and there's a possibility that the building was leveled, but it wasn't raised, in my opinion. And and I've had another contractor look at it, and I'm sure Mr. Yates has some pictures that may repudiate my contention, but we believe that the tenant may have been slightly confused. But before I go too much further, we contend for the moment that it was just leveled and not raised.
Why do I care about a tenant? Okay, is this a tenant of Unit 515?
Yes, he decided to. He showed Mr. Yates a lot of valid things that needed to be done. The property was under
Tenant still
maintained.
on the property?
Yes, sir.
Is the tenant here?
No.
Okay, well, I don't care what the tenant's got to say.
Well, the tenant, it's tenant-driven complaint, and the building department did not place a stop work order on 515. There's, to me, little, if any, evidence that the building was raised, and the cost to the client of coming in and getting engineered drawings to re-level the building and to strap it down is like $20,000. And I'm taking money out of my pocket at the profit margin on the 20,000 by bringing this to the court's attention. But for the moment, I'm contending that it wasn't raised. It was perhaps leveled at some point, but I stand here to be corrected.
To be clear, that either way, that's structural work that requires a permit. And we both know that. So
Well, I didn't know that leveling with cedar shims.
with cedar, no. Brand new cinder blocks were installed underneath to help support the frame. We have clear photo evidence of that. So there's no chance that that work isn't new.
Can we see at least one or two of them, sir?
Absolutely.
And my architect,
and also they've been part of the case before, so you have seen them.
Sure.
So it's not anything.
well, my architect's standing by to, I've already done the layout of
And
it.
wouldn't that require an engineer, not an architect, since it's structural?
I can perhaps in 5 minutes or less cite the Florida statute that allows architects to do
Okay.
anything that an engineer does on a single family dwelling, but I don't have it on the top of my head.
What work is left to be done?
All right.
First off, you
So-
told me nothing's been done.
It's all been done in
You've
the
been
last
talking
week.
for 15 minutes
Here-
about everything that has been done.
Here's what I should clarify.
Now,
Since
a little friction here, and I'm beginning to think maybe what we need to do is have a special setting with regard to this property, because it sounds like this is just going to hell in a handbasket.
to clarify a little bit, most of the things they're describing, they have complied with, but what I'm specifically talking about is the time period between the last hearing and this hearing. 99% of what they're describing took place before our last hearing. So yes, they did do those things, but we're talking about the progress since the last hearing.
And the contractor's indicated he's had some personal issues that have delayed him, and now he's back at work. I understand that, okay.
Understandable, but so far where we're at is there's unpermitted structural work, unpermitted water heaters, unpermitted heater install, unpermitted structural bracing, dilapidated steps. There's still the wood rot at the steps. There's still the paint issue at the steps. I have not been brought back in to investigate the rear of the property where there could still be issues, so I'm not sure of that. But the main issues, the really important issues, the safety issues, that's what we're left with. So that is why I find it so concerning when we're looking at a case.
What are they?
They are the unpermitted structural work. In other words, they raised the level or did some sort of structural modification to the rear home in 515. Inside of the laundry room, they did unpermitted structural bracing. They're taking the load, it looks like, of the whole roof, and they've bolted it to several boards without ND engineer's approval. That whole house could be in structural danger. I am not.
About the structure behind the house.
No, the main house. The main house has been braced without permit structurally, and the rear home. So that's why it's just such a pressing matter. And I can't speak on to what extent it's structurally unsafe because I'm not a structural engineer, and no one who, really only someone who is could tell us to what extent it's damaged. We can all conjecture, but the fact is, this was opened May 10th, 2022 with all these issues, and we don't even have drawings to start to fix these issues. He's saying they're going to start producing these drawings.
May I speak as well?
Yes,
If I-
the
no,
whole time.
No. If I may?
Okay, you say yes, you say no. Is this house occupied?
517 South Palmetto, where this,
That's the main house.
yes, sir. The ground floor is occupied. The upstairs unit, you made it clear to Mr. Cowish not to occupy that unit, even though there's another entry. He's abided by that. The rot that remained on the exterior staircase is gone last night when I was out there till dark, and this morning, more of it's gone. We've clarified that my architect's going to proceed with the drawings for the leveling of 515 and with the structural repairs to the laundry room. In my opinion, the load shift that he did in this little 10 by 12 laundry room doesn't propose a safety hazard. The tenant will agree that if his house was raised or leveled, that it's not an imminent safety hazard. I did the meeting minutes will reflect it. I said I'd have,
With all due respect, I don't know that I care about a tenant telling me that there's not a structural safety hazard.
well, I'll tell you that.
Anyway, and I appreciate that, but with all due respect, I don't know that that's gonna cut the mustard either. So, I'm hearing the city complaining of a life safety issue. So, that's going to have to be resolved. Now, I don't have the authority to tell somebody to just knock the house down, because it's more of a headache than it's worth dealing with. The property owner has decided he wants to do whatever is necessary to rebuild, salvage the house. It's his property, that's his right. Is it time consuming? Yes. Time we can deal with. Life safety issues, we can't deal with. So, Mr. Inspector, what do I need from you to satisfy yourself? There is no life safety hazard here. What are you looking for?
I mean, if they wanted, the only person who could tell us that would be a certified engineer.
Structural engineer.
Yeah,
Or-
certified engineer.
Or the building official, which we'd gladly let take a look. I went down there, I'd gladly do that.
Let's just stop for a second.
Yes, sir.
All right, he's saying city's gotta have a structural engineer to bless this house. Okay, what's your response to that?
I would like to invite the building official to take a look.
Is the building official a structural engineer?
Is the code enforcement officer a structural engineer to make such a contention?
Okay, well, you can invite me too, but that ain't gonna.
You want to
do
come?
good.
Well, I promised to have the drawings in by November 1st on both of these.
Promise to have what drawings in?
If you look at the meeting minutes,
What are the drawings gonna do in the way of satisfying me?
Yes, sir.
That there is no structural concern here, notwithstanding the inspector's expression that there is one.
The structural drawings will show a prescribed method to tie down the building, which is my actual concern on a building that's up on blocks.
Okay,
And that
but
it's,
if you were to give me these, I assume I would have to take them to a structural engineer and somebody educated in this area to say, what does this mean? And does this do what the property owner tells me it's supposed to do?
the typical process would be the architect reviews and makes the connections to the building code. We submit it to the building official by November 1st, which I will. The building department and their plan reviewers who are qualified to make such a determination of whether it's enough will make such a decision. If they issue the permit, we proceed as it's drawn. If in their opinion we need to do more, they'll give us plan review comments and we'll add more straps or more tie downs. But I'm still committed to getting those drawings in by November 1st. And I'm here. I didn't want to abandon this thing on this guy. I got involved because he got screwed by the last contractor, and that's just the best I can do on the timeline.
And if I may say something as well, the list that I read you today was all work that has been done since the last meeting. It wasn't any of the work done prior to that I read off of the list. It was from my service provider's current, invoice to me.
I coordinated with his direct subcontractor, Four Seasons Property Maintenance, whose owner is named Van, and Van accomplished a lot of the painting and smaller woodwork items. And Mr. Cowish says he has an electrician getting to get ready to do the water heater.
What specifically are the structural issues that you want addressed now?
The staircase, the bracing.
Staircase. Is this the staircase he's telling me he's working on?
Yes, he has a permit for it, but it looks the same as it did 2 months ago, so that's why.
Okay, so that's a time gripe.
Yeah.
What else?
The structural bracing that was added in the laundry room without permit, and then the structural work done to the unit in the rear 515.
Okay. Do you know what he's talking about?
Unfortunately, I got most of the details of it memorized, sir.
Okay. So, and what are you needing in the way of who do you want this, who do you want to hear from? Or what do you want to see?
I mean, at this point,
To these issues?
I think the best going forward is that he needs to have permits in hand to do this work. That's where we are at this point. And if he doesn't have permits in hand by, essentially the next time we're going to get together, then I really don't know a way forward.
For this work by the next meeting.
We're all saying the same thing from different perspectives. I could have skipped the contentious part of it, but yes, sir, my intention is to submit the drawings that I'll have by November 1st, so that by November 8th, I've got a permit. That's what I tried to say walking up. So I'm in agreement.
So he gets the permits, somehow in that process, you get all the blessings you're looking for as far as the structural issues you're complaining about.
I just think it's the best way forward. I mean, once again, none of us can say 100% to what degree those structural elements are or are not affecting the building. So I'm sorry if I can't give you a satisfactory answer, but I just simply, as he stated, I do not have the certification to tell you the safety of that building. I simply don't.
Well, it sounds to me like what you're saying is, I want something from a structural engineer saying these issues are not a life safety hazard.
That certainly is something we could do. It's just extremely costly. That's why
Your Honor, the plans that I submit can easily have a sworn statement from the design professional of record stating that the current condition is such that it's safe.
You were proffering an architect earlier. Now we're down to a design professional.
A design professional is a state of Florida term that describes both an architect and an engineer. And
Tell me what it is I want done by November 8th. You, tell me what it is I want done.
we would like the drawings turned in with the note as described by him with his professional taking on that liability, and the permits to be issued. And at that point, we would be willing to extend the time frame further to allow the work to be completed.
by November 8th, I will have these stairs done and very nice and probably the strongest element of the house. I'll have the drawings turned in for the other two, and barring a slow plan
So
review.
these drawings, are they part of a permit application?
Yes.
So you will have your permit I'm just trying to translate
Yes,
this
sir.
into words and phrases I can relate to.
Yeah, I'll have the permits applied for, if not reviewed and approved by the next meeting.
All right.
And that's what I was trying to say in a
Then
less.
I'm going to continue this hearing regarding the imposition of a fine. We are going to resume our discussion at our November 14th, 2023 meeting. By November 8th, I'm expecting at a minimum a permit application to be submitted. I know once it's submitted, it's out of your hands. I'm hoping we will have permits by then, but in any event, by November 8th, I want everything out of your hands that's necessary for these permits to happen. And then on November 14th, I'm going to keep this on a short leash until we're done, because people are now starting to make noise about life safety issues. We're going to meet again on November 14th. Hopefully, we'll have permits in hand, and we can talk about wrapping this thing up. If not, then we'll go from there.
Thank you, sir.
You gonna be able to make any sense out of that? So I am continuing the imposition of a fine to our November 14, 2023 meeting, and I'm ordering the respondent to have his permit application filed on or before November 8, 2023. Failing that, the respondent will be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. And I'm coming perilously close, I'm letting you know this right now, when I start hearing about life safety issues, I'm coming perilously close to telling you to throw the tenant out of 217 or 517, and the building's not going to be occupied or utilized until everything's done. So I'm just putting all that out there for y'all to keep in mind. Okay? We all good?
It's been,
Yes, sir. Thank you.
it's
luck to you.
been a pleasure working with you. I'll see you at one more meeting, but I certainly won't volunteer to get involved with anything else like this again.
Oh, come on.
See ya.
You'll survive it. Case number 30, ESH Daytona Beach LLC. Okay, Counselor, announce your appearance. If your friend here is going to be testifying, we need his name and we need for him to be sworn.
Certainly. Jessica Gallo, Caldwell Law Firm, 149 South Road Avenue, Daytona Beach, Florida. I don't know that we'll be testifying today.
Okay. All right. This matter is here for the imposition of a fine. What say the city?
All right, since the last hearing, we've had contact in progress. As you can see, the wall's going up, and they continue to move forward. I would like to amend the January cutoff to allow this work to be completed.
Okay, what say the respondent?
We're in agreement. The work should be completed in December, but we don't meet then, so January should be all wrapped up.
Okay. I will amend our current amended order of noncompliance to allow the respondent until January 3, 2024 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Case number 31, Ocean Winds Condo Association. Anyone here for the respondent? What say the city?
All right, since the last hearing, I've had contact in progress. Unfortunately, the scope of the work does continue to expand, so I would like to amend to the January cutoff to allow the work to continue.
All right, based upon our inspector's report, taking into consideration the efforts by the respondent, I will amend our current amended order of noncompliance to allow the respondent until January 3, 2024 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 32, Pro Development USA LLC. I believe we have somebody on Zoom. Okay, folks, can you hear me? Yes, sir. If you would please state your name and be sworn.
State your name.
Can't hear you.
Sorry, Daniel Castillo.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Castillo, your affiliation with Pro Development is what?
I represent them. I'm a GC here in South Florida, Miami, and I'm helping them to put everything in order on this property. So,
All right. This matter is here for the imposition of a fine. What say the city?
All right, since the last hearing, I've had contact with the owner and progress. It's a big job. All the tenants have been officially moved out, so the work can continue unrestricted. I would like to amend to the January cutoff.
Mr. Castillo, the city is proposing to amend your compliance date to January 3, 2024. What say you to that?
yes, sir.
All right. Then, based upon the stipulation of the parties, I will amend our current order of noncompliance to allow the respondent until January 3, 2024 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Good day to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Case 33, Atlantis of Daytona, LLC. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Since the last hearing, I have had no contact with the owner or the contractor, but it is occupied. There has been progress. The only thing left is the large pole sign out front. And Kenco Signs was supposed to be scheduled last month, but was delayed because of the storm that we had. But I believe they will get on it before the next cutoff. So staff is requesting amend to the next cutoff, please.
All right, based upon our inspector's report, I will amend our current order of noncompliance to allow the respondent till November 8, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 34, Socrates George and Argene Estelle Danielides. Is there anyone here for the respondent? Yes, sir. If you would state your name and be sworn.
Good morning. Socrates George Danielides,
Okay,
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
all right, this matter is here for the imposition of a fine. What say the city?
There has been contact with the owner. It is not occupied. There has been progress. The owner has begun painting, pressure washing is done, and I'd like to amend to the next cutoff.
All right, what say the respondent? He's suggesting
Well-
we extend your time to November 8th. That okay with you?
I need more time, yes.
So you're going to get done by November 8th?
In September, it was a disaster with the weather and everything else.
I understand.
I took care of most
Don't bother
of
telling me what you
everything.
took care of. November 8th. You gonna have it
November
done by
8th.
then?
I hope so.
Okay. I will amend our current order of noncompliance to allow the respondent until November 8, 2023 to come into compliance
Okay.
or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. If you encounter delays, keep your inspector posted as to what's going on.
All right.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Case number 35, James Byrne.
Since last hearing,
Hold on a second.
oh, sorry. Oh, hello.
Come on, big guy.
All right, folks, if anyone's going to be testifying, please state your names and be sworn.
State your names.
Yes.
State your name.
Yes.
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 This is not your name. State your name, dude.
James Byrne, B-Y-R-N-E.
And you are?
His daughter, Deirdre Byrne, B-Y-R-N-E.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, this matter's here for the imposition of a fine, so let's hear what our inspector has to say.
Since last hearing, there has been contact on 9/28, and I did speak with Dr. Burns to extend this for him as well. It's occupied. There has been progress. The owner has a deposit for a roofing contractor, so the staff would recommend amend to the next cutoff, please.
Okay, city says you're making progress, is proposing to extend our current order of noncompliance to November 8th. What say you to that?
Unfortunately, Your Honor, yesterday we found out that the gentleman that we hired and paid a deposit to does not want to do the job any longer. So he says he will be coming to the office on Thursday to return the check to us or write another check. I spent the day yesterday on the phone speaking to several contractors. We have 3 discrete tasks. There's the shingles on the roof, there's the rotted fascia, and there's the painting. So I now have secured a carpenter to do the fascia work, removing the rot, putting new fascia in. I'm meeting with him at 1:30 this afternoon. I've reached out to several contractors to find out if any of their subs are available to come do the roofing work and to do the painting after the fascia is up. So we would request 60 days if possible.
Okay. No. But what we will do is we will put this on the November 14th. Are you local?
I'm not. I live in South Florida. I'm here about every 2 weeks. But
You can appear by Zoom.
I could be here by Zoom, and I can also, as I come up, I can be supervising.
All right, then we're going to put this, we're going to continue this determination to our November 14th meeting.
Okay.
I'm satisfied that you made an effort to get this done, and you are in the works, but obviously you're unsettled at present, to say the least. So on November 14th, you can update us on what progress you've made on replacing your roofer and getting the work done. And at that point in time, maybe we will address perhaps a new compliance date. So we're going to continue this matter as is to the November 14th, 2023 meeting to allow the respondent an opportunity to get back on track with her contractors and subcontractors. And you can appear by Zoom.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Good luck to you.
All right, big guy, let's go.
Case number 36, Vacation Rentals, LLC. Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
There has been contact with Ms. Conti, the property manager and owner. I could not get contact with the sign company, but it was the same situation. They were scheduled last month, but were delayed because of the storm. It is occupied. Progress has been made. Staff is requesting to amend to the next cutoff, please.
Based upon our inspector's report, I will amend our current order of noncompliance to allow the respondent till November 8, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 37 is in compliance. Case number 38, Andre Rondeau and Odette Peralt and Enos LLC.
State your
All
name.
right. If you would state your name and be sworn, please.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Can you speak in the mic?
All right, I'm here for a progress report and to determine a compliance date. Who wants to give me a progress report? What progress has been made
So,
with regard to the Oak Ridge property?
okay, we already finished the roof and pass inspection. And the second thing is we already, we replaced the stairs. We replaced the exterior door, and almost majority we already take care of, except the window, because we got the permit, but when we open, we found some rotten wood. We have to put a frame there. Maybe need a more permit for one of the window or two. So now that's what's the progress now in 207. Okay.
So when are we gonna be done?
We are applying additional permit now.
For what?
For one wall, right? When we open the window, when we work, the whole wall needs rebuild. So we will have to ask architect drawing. Now waiting for another draw. So that's in the process slow down. But majority, I saw this one already take care of.
Okay. Mr. Inspector, what do you see out there?
Since the last hearing, there has been a lot of activity out there. There's not been a lot of progress made, but there's more permits that are required as soon as they basically start to work on something else comes up. So at this point, they're not making a lot of progress at 209. They are going to need more permits to continue their work.
She says she opens something up, the next thing you know, she's got a new headache, which means new permits. Any truth to that?
Yes.
Okay.
Very much.
Yeah, I have an inspector inside.
I'm not talking to you right now.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
That is correct. As soon as you open up one of those things, there's more to do.
So what are we doing with 209? What's the future look like?
I'd like to amend this particular case rather than, we'll amend this to the next cutoff to see what progress is actually made.
What are we hoping to accomplish between now and November 8th?
I'm hoping that she can obtain the required permits and at least make some kind of progress on 209, because as of right now.
Permits different, you're making it sound like she needs multiple permits.
She will.
So what
She'll
are
need,
multiple permits? Are these things even doable by November 8th?
well, she's been at it for a while. In my personal opinion, she could be making a lot more progress than she has been, and she's not.
Well, I wish she'd just take it to the ground and start over, but that's not gonna happen.
No, sir. I'd like to amend this case to the next hearing for her to obtain her permits and hopefully to make some more progress.
Okay, how many more permits do you need?
I already got 3 permits. The first, the roof already passed inspection. The second one, I already got a window permit. Window permits because we opened up, the wood is rotten.
I already heard that, you don't need to say it
Okay,
again.
okay. The third part, we got the renovation permits.
What now?
Renovation permits.
Okay.
So I needed to to do
Are
some.
there more permits that you need now?
The more permits.
Or do those permits cover, in your opinion? Do those, permits cover the work that you've got to do, or are you in need of more permits?
I need one more permit because when we opened up the one wall, the
I
wall
heard it,
totally.
I'll say it again.
So we need more permits. I have the architecture guy drawing now.
Is he working on that now?
Yes, yes,
So you're expecting to submit a permit application?
yeah. But
Okay.
because now we are
All right,
waiting
while
for
you're waiting on that permit application, what other work are you going to be doing between now and November 8th to move this thing toward compliance?
some window we can replace without structure. Without
Okay,
touch
then
structure,
we
can
will
do it.
come back at our November 14th meeting, and I expect by then you will have at least applied for the additional permit you need.
Okay, yeah, permit takes so long.
I understand that. That's why I said you will have applied. I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about what
that's-
you control.
Oh, okay.
You will have done what you need to do to apply for the additional permit I'm hearing that you need.
Yeah.
And you will continue to make progress
Yeah.
on everything else that needs to be done to brought into compliance.
Yes,
Okay?
yes.
So on November 14th, when we reconvene, I would like to hear that you've applied for your permit. Maybe you'll even have it, but I know that's out of your hands. And then you will also give me the laundry list of all the other things you've done to work toward getting this thing into compliance.
Yes. yeah,
Okay?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Then I will continue this matter to the November 14th, 2023 meeting for that purpose. Now, next case. Same respondent, 506 North Halifax. I didn't think you could make an ugly building any uglier than it was, but darned if you didn't do it. Is that the one you scraped all the paint off?
Oh my God, it's difficult. It's harder than what I thought before.
Well, I'm just appreciating the fact that it's going to be obviously beautiful when it's done. 'Cause
I'm sure.
God
I'm
knows
sure.
it can't get any worse than it is right now.
I'm sure much more beautiful than much more better than now.
Okay, well, I'm being silly here, so let our inspector do his thing. All right, 506 North Halifax, what say the city?
Yeah, since the last hearing, there's not been very much progress. These windows are not in yet.
These windows are what?
The windows are not completely installed yet. They are, the progress is ridiculously slow. City's asking for the imposition of a fine of $200 per day to be capped at 15.
No, I don't agree with Mr. Stinson.
Of course.
Because last time he take pictures, he said there's something structured. Because when we replaced the window, we found lots of rotten wood.
Okay, slow
So-
down. Let's take Mr. Stinson out of the equation for just a moment. So you tell me what you've been doing at 506 North Halifax.
So when we got all of permits, we started work.
You have all your permits?
Yeah,
Okay.
window permits, renovation permits, and
Window permits?
yeah.
Do you have your windows?
Yes,
Why aren't they installed yet?
they installed this. They install when we install open. They found a lot of rotten wood, so we have to.
I don't doubt that for a moment. So you're telling me that once you start installing the windows, you're finding all kinds of problems?
Yeah,
Doesn't come as any surprise to me. So are you needing more permits, or are you able to work within the permits that you have now?
So Mr. Stinson went into it. He asked us, "Is it structure? You need to put more permit related to the structure." But meanwhile, I have more idea. I want to add one more room. So we have architecture when there to do the engineer drawing. After 2 weeks, I got the architecture drawing. So with my contractor guys submitted another permit, like add more structure related to the.
Is she in need of another permit on this property as well?
She already has permits for the windows and for the roof. She's probably going to wind up needing plumbing permits. I don't know what the electrical system is looking like, so it's a possibility that she may need that as well.
My contractor guy is here. He put more permits.
Bring him up here.
Mr. Yeah. He put more permit related to the plumbing, relate to the structure. He did more work.
Yes, sir. If you would please state your name and be sworn.
Marlon Taylor.
Marlon?
This Marlon, Marlon Taylor.
You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, what kind of progress has taken place at 506, say, over the last 30 days?
It's been very confusing. Once I leave, other work's been done. I think it need a structure superintendent to see if the building is structural, even they try to bring it back up. A couple of windows been put in. People been working without my knowledge. So I pulled off the job.
People have been working.
Well, work has been done prior to her hiring me.
Okay.
So basically, we got.
Right now, you're the contractor?
Yes, sir.
You're in charge of, you're the one she's hired to do the work.
Right. I'm the only one should be working in there. And basically, I haven't touched the building as of yet, only because I got more drawings did on. When I come back, she changed her mind. She wanted more rooms added. So we all went ahead and hired an architect. And I said, don't do anything until all the permits are in place. My main concern is it structural enough even to bring it up, you know. But I'm not qualified to, state that, give you that answer.
All right. Did I hear somewhere along the way that we have drawings in the works?
Yes.
Who is doing these drawings?
Mr. Thayer, he's an architect.
He's the architect.
Yes.
So these drawings will all be submitted as part of what, another permit application?
Yes, sir. They already been submitted.
And I guess he's the professional who's going to say whether it's good, bad, or indifferent.
Right.
There several times.
Okay. And we are expecting to, do we have any idea when this permit application is going to be submitted?
It's already been submitted. We're just waiting for approval. Yes, sir.
So you're waiting on a permit right now?
Yes, sir.
So that's why we cannot do anything. We just waiting for the permit most of the time.
And this particular permit is for what?
For the structure, for the.
Just a second.
Basically, it started off being a renovation permit with same floor plans, and evidently it turned into be an alteration permit that she wanted to add rooms and bathrooms. So that's a whole new ball game now.
So we're redesigning the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's simple because the hallway.
No, it's not simple. You got a notice of violation staring you in the face right here. Okay, and what are we doing now? Creating Disneyland over there?
We're just waiting for the permit. After permit done, my plan is just to replace the window, and after replace the rest of the house to do the stucco, continue to this work and finish the violation to comply with
Okay,
violation.
as far as the application that's been submitted, is this something kind of straightforward? Anything exotic to it? I understand it deviates from the original floor plan.
Right.
But I mean, are we creating something complex, time-consuming, what have you?
That's hard to answer right there. I just my main concern is to find out whether whether it's structurally sound.
Okay, do we have an electrician on board?
No, I guess you're talking to her or me.
I keep looking at you.
You pointing at me, but
Your
you're
manager
talking
over here keeps answering. Do we have an electrician on board?
She hired someone, but that was minor, just to change out plugs. But it looked like this gonna need a whole new rewiring.
You have a plumber on board?
I am a licensed plumber also.
Okay.
I have check everything. They said only the electricity is good. Only we replace the outlet.
And you've already submitted this application, so you're
Yeah,
waiting on the
yes, sir.
permit. How long ago did you submit it?
I think it was like only about a week ago.
About a week ago.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to call this thing back at our November 14, 2023 meeting. You've already made your application. Now, let me ask you, are you able to get any work done between now and November 8th to address these notices of violation, or are you on hold until this permit is issued?
I want to be on hold until the permit is issued. He'll let me know exactly what's going on, what needs to be fixed, and what's not in compliance. So basically, it should be getting approved, I'd say, within 1 or 2 weeks, so we'll be okay.
All right. Then we will continue this matter to our November 14 meeting, and we will have this conversation all over again. Hopefully, you will have a permit in hand at that point in time. We're going to lay out what is going to be done. I mean, you know, I know we've been messing with this for a while, but this corner is it's just a historical eyesore. That's all there is to it. And I'm telling you, this corner better look nice when you're done.
I'm sure.
I'm telling you,
I promise.
it better look real nice. Okay.
Yes, sir. Understand?
And let's have you back here with her
Right.
at our November 14th meeting.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you.
All right.
If I were a judge, I would have been thrown off the case already. Case number 40, Waldemar Ruzinski. Anyone here for the respondent? What say the city?
Since last hearing, most of the violations have been corrected. They have their application in for the rental inspection. That is scheduled for, I believe, next week. And they just moved the parking violation yesterday, so I'd like to amend this case to the next cutoff.
Based upon our inspector's report, I will amend our current order of noncompliance to allow the response until November 8, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Case number 41, Thomas A. Libby. Anyone here for the respondent? Yes, sir. If you would
Hi.
please state your name and be sworn.
Thomas A. Libby.
Raise your hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, what say the city?
Since the last hearing, they have made pretty good progress. His neighbors are actually assisting him. I'd like to amend this case as well.
To the next cutoff?
Yes, sir.
City's suggesting amending your cutoff to November 8th. What say you to that?
I just received a permit last week. I'm doing the work myself, but I'm a little physically handicapped. So
Spit it out, let's go.
I'll try to have it done, but I'm not sure if I can or not.
What do you got left to do?
Well, I've got the stucco removed, I've got the windows removed, I have a permit to rebuild. I started doing that,
Are you doing all this yourself?
yes.
Is this stuff he can do himself?
I've had permits before, I've done a roof, I built a shed in the back.
Okay.
All that was permitted.
So how long do you think it's gonna take you to get it done?
I can try to have it done by next month, but I'm not sure if I'm physically able to.
So if I give you till December 6th, it will be done?
Yes.
All right, I will
In
amend
January?
our current order of
January?
Merry Christmas.
Nice work.
I'm sorry, what?
Eased me right into that, didn't you? Okay, well, you get a bit of a Christmas windfall here.
Oh.
Apparently, we're not gonna be around in December.
Oh.
So I assume you'll really have it done by January 3rd. All right, I'll amend our current order of noncompliance to allow the respondent until January 3,
I called you
2024
like
to come
8
into
days ago
compliance
and left you a message.
or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Case number 42, GEA Seaside Investments Incorporated. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Since the last hearing, there has been no contact, no progress. The only change is that the front sign's been installed. City is asking for the imposition of a fine of $200 per day to be capped at 15.
Okay. Noting the absence of the respondent, based upon our inspector's testimony as well as the photographs presented, I'm fining the respondent the sum of $200 per day, commencing October 5, 2023, and that fine will continue to accrue each day thereafter until the property is in compliance or the amount of the fine has reached the sum of $15,000. Case number 43 is in compliance. Case number 44 is in compliance. Case number 45 is in compliance. Case number 46 is in compliance. Case number 47, Daytona Center, LLC. Anyone here for the respondent?
Pull over.
She's either muted or this is a commercial for an insurance company.
Okay, sorry. I thought you
Hello?
did that already. Hello.
Please tell me you're not driving.
Yeah, I am. I can pull over, but
Here, she piles into a tractor trailer.
I would ask that we not proceed until she's stationary if she is driving.
All right, ma'am, I'll tell you what, we're going to impose a rule, and that is until you're stationary, we're not going to hear your case.
okay. I will be stationary in 5 minutes.
5 minutes?
I'll
Well,
be
I'm on
here
the
for more than
causeway.
5 minutes. You can call back.
No, I'm here right now. I'm on the beach. Ready.
All right. Mr. Inspector, this matter is here for the imposition of, first off, I'm sorry, ma'am, your affiliation with Daytona Center LLC?
Property manager.
She's still driving.
Your vehicle appears to be moving.
I'm right here on the beach.
Okay. Let's hear from our inspector. Oh, I'm sorry, you need to be sworn, ma'am.
Okay.
State your name.
D. Etlinger.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Your affiliation with Daytona Center LLC?
Property manager.
All right. What say the city?
Since last hearing, I've been in contact with Ms. Etlinger. In terms of progress, they have taken care of everything else in regards to the violations for this property. As they were pressure washing the pylons, turns out that more work needed to be done. And as such, we wish to give them more time to have everything come into compliance. Staff is recommending to amend to the next cutoff, please.
The inspector indicates that while you were in the process of coming into compliance here, you found additional work that needed to be done. So he's proposing extending your cutoff to November 8th. What say you to that?
I will try my best to get it finished by the 8th.
Very good. Then I will amend our current order of noncompliance to allow the respondent till November 8, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. Thank you, ma'am. Be
Thank
careful
you.
out there.
Thank you.
Case number 48, David Clark. Yes, sir. If you would state your name and be sworn.
David Clark.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, this matter is here for the imposition of a fine. Let's hear from the city.
Since last hearing, I've had contact with Mr. Clark. It's an occupied property. In terms of progress, I would just like to hear what he's been doing because I have no progress to report.
Is this the bent wall?
It is.
All right. What say, Mr. Clark?
I have, well, as you know, last time we were here, I had several contractors that had come over and given me and submitted quotes. I am now, would believe we're committed with some people who have been in contact with the city, with Ms. Reno, with the historical development. Well, that's the facade grant, but that's not the right application because I am a historical property, and so that makes me eligible for more. So that's where it's at. I do believe that those applications are being submitted today to the historical grant facade department
your
for.
property, but what's historical about it?
It's probably 140 years old. It's in the district, which is deemed historical.
Okay. So how does that impact the?
It makes me eligible for grants to get up to 50% of what it costs me to a max of 15,000.
And that would include?
That includes
this
repairing
wall?
my wall, yes.
Okay, good enough. That explains it. All right, so where are we on getting the wall done?
I needed to get several quotes. I needed 2 quotes. I've put them together. There's a packet that's already all put together that is, I believe, I have an email waiting for me to sign the application, but I simply can't read it on my phone. So as far as I know, that was sent to me
Yeah,
this
you need to
morning.
Submit the application to this historical whatever.
Yes.
How long
That's,
do you-
it's a Daytona Beach city.
All right, and do you have any idea as to how long it usually takes for them to respond?
I was told when I spoke with them a few months ago that it's a very quick process. It's the lady that I'm supposed to get it emailed to said it goes to a Ken something, and Ken then approves it, and as long as it matches historically what was there,
Do you
it
already
would be
have
approved.
contractors lined up?
I have
to-
contractors lined up, yes, and
they
contracts
given you
to.
any indication as to how long it's going to take to do the work?
I believe they said that they thought they might be able to be about 10 days out, within 10 days out to get started but it has to be approved by the grant process first, then permits can be pulled because they have to agree with what the grant will approve. So then it goes to the permits, and so I don't know how long it takes to get a permit pulled.
So it sounds like we're waiting.
That is being
Why
created.
don't you just repeat that for me?
I couldn't repeat. An engineered retaining wall is being planned for submission for permit. The best-looking property of everything you showed today. And as code enforcement could say, where this started 2 years ago, I have completed much.
Okay.
It's just this last wall.
We're getting there. All right. Imposition of a fine.
So I would be requesting a continuation, please.
Okay, I guess I will continue this to we don't have a December meeting. No, we have a November meeting, though. I will continue this to our November 12, 2024 meeting. And I'm only doing that to hear how far we've moved down the dial
I understand.
by November 12th. And hopefully we will have moved far enough down the dial to where we might be able to prognosticate with any certainty when this can be done. But I understand you're pursuing it. I understand you're in application land, and I understand there's other agencies involved, so I understand all that. And I don't see the wall going anywhere. So that having been said, we will revisit this matter on November 12th.
14th.
Pardon? I'm sorry.
14th.
November 14th, 2023. And we'll take it from there once we get an update.
Thank you.
All right. And if you want to attend by Zoom, you're welcome to, because we'll be looking for a progress report. We may or may not be able to establish a compliance date. We'll see.
It all appears to be falling into place, and I have contractors that are capable and willing to get this moving. So I shouldn't
Revisit
anticipate too
this on
much.
November 14th then. Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
Case number 49, Jacqueline Manning. Not seeing a respondent. What say the city?
Since last hearing, I've had contact with the,
He's coming.
I'm sorry, Mr. Washington.
Yeah, he's coming. He's seen it.
Yes, sir. If you would please state your name and be sworn.
Roger Washington.
Raise your hand. You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Inspector, we're here for the imposition of the fine.
Right, since last hearing, I've had contact with Mr. Washington. It's the same as before, still waiting on insurance. However, he could provide more information as to what that process is. This is just the last photos of what the property looks like.
All right. Just got this email. I've been really tied up in and out of town. Sean had sent a letter. I got a copy for you as well. I just printed it out. He sent the letter to the retaining attorney about the property on the additional Daytona Beach Code enforcement hearing, notices and violations. The precise adjustment additional check that amount of $9,654.70 made to the M&T Bank, then transferred to the second lien position mortgage and community loan servicing on April 23rd. And the bank letter stating that it couldn't endorse the check and sent it back to the insurance company for the new insurance. And then after that, we got a letter from the retaining attorney saying, I've been reviewing the file with one of the senior partners here, and unfortunately, we aren't going to be able to really help you out. The issue is that the insurance policy is lender placed, meaning neither you, which is Sean and his mother, mom, is a named insured. As such, the insurance company has no obligations to, and in fact, will not communicate with the attorneys regarding this claim because you technically do not have standing. The only person can push this claim as the mortgage holder, and we have also reached out to them numerous of times, reached out to them and see if we can assist with no luck. As such, we will be releasing you from the contract. So he wrote back, my apology, well, that's not that, he wrote back with them saying that now he got to find another attorney on how to address this about the insurance.
You got your own lawyers, but it sounds to me like you're in a world of hurt because the only insurance you're waiting on is insurance that was placed by your lender, and that lender don't care about you.
Right.
The lender cares about his mortgage. And so to be perfectly honest, I don't know nothing from nothing about your case, but I don't think you're ever gonna see any of it.
Well, remember,
And
I don't
so
know if
that's gonna devolve back to you to figure out, as far as the city is concerned, what you're gonna do about this building.
I wish we can place something on the mortgage and insurance company, because I know the insurance company before had sent the check in December of 2022 to the to the bank. The bank kept the check, and the bank sold the mortgage to another bank, this new one, and now that's going back and forth, but they're not communicating at all. Like we want this over just as bad as you are. We're not making, my business has been hurt since this has been a year.
Well, all I'm suggesting to you is if you think these insurance proceeds are gonna be the method by which you're gonna pay for this work, I have serious misgivings as to whether that's ever gonna happen. I've never known a bank to give back money, especially on a mortgage on a distressed property. And by distress, I'm talking about a property that's banged up like this one is.
I know he's
That's
trying to
my
do,
humble opinion, which is meaningless as far as this proceeding is concerned. But my point is, this gentleman over here is gonna wanna know when you're gonna be bringing this into compliance. And if your explanation for not bringing it into compliance is you're still waiting on insurance money, as far as I'm concerned, you'll be doing that till the cows come home. And in the meantime, the city wants the property brought into compliance.
we do too,
Well,
believe me.
I'm telling you, I think you might start focusing on a plan B.
Yeah, that's what he's doing when I last talked to him. When he's got something else he's doing, he also works within the bank. So
What do you want to do, Mr. Inspector?
Mr. Jackson, Mr. Sykes.
I mean, I'm inclined to give them another month or two to see if they can pull a rabbit out of the hat, but after that, if nothing's happening, then all I can do is fine them and move on.
We wish to amend to the November cutoff, please.
Okay. I assume you have no objection to that.
I'm just representing, he is the ultimate call, him and his mother.
All right.
I'm just showing up for them,
I'm just
on
calling
my
strikes
part.
and balls and strikes the way I
Yeah.
see them. All right, so,
What we hope for is that at the next, when you come back, that they have thought, someone's thought out at least a plan or process or some suggestion of a solution. If there's no suggestion, then we're kind of left having to.
Yeah, that's
go
what
through the process.
that's what he's searching for now.
All right.
For that, like, we're not just sitting on it and blowing it over like he's
No guarantee
working
on
diligently.
that where the city will go, but it'll start by us knowing what the plan is, what he's
Right.
going to do about it.
So when I know something, I'll let Baptiste know.
Okay.
All right.
All right, thank you.
In accordance with the stipulation of the parties, I'm going to amend our current order of noncompliance to allow the respondent till November 8, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter.
All right.
Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Case number 50, Daytona Lands 1. Anyone here for the respondent? Not seeing a respondent, what say the city?
Since last hearing, I've had contact with the property owners. As you can see, the building is no longer on site. It was demo. However, the demo needs to be finalized. At this time, they are simply waiting for some sod to be put in per instruction from the building department. Staff is recommending to give them an extra time to have that done. So we wish to amend till the next cutoff, please.
Based upon the report of our inspector, I will amend our current order of noncompliance to allow the respondent until November 8, 2023 to come into compliance or be returned to the special magistrate for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day thereafter. That now brings us to Lien Review 1, Patronus International LLC. Okay, ma'am, if you would please state your name and be sworn.
Carolyn Gatson Shank.
Raise your hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, at the outset, have there been any discussions between the parties in an effort to amicably resolve this matter that I need to be aware of?
Yes, sir.
Okay, where are
It
we?
was a previous meeting, and we as a city, we request to waive all of the fines.
Why?
You want to let her explain?
I saw her explanation. Why is the city agreeing to it?
Well, based upon the legalities behind the case itself, we feel as though that she should not be held responsible for it. So our decision is to go ahead and waive the
Fair
fines.
enough. I just
Yes,
want
sir.
to understand what's going on.
Yes, sir.
I assume you don't have a complaint?
Not at all, sir.
Okay. All right, then, based upon the stipulation of the parties, I'm going to vacate and cancel our order imposing fine lien effective February 8, 2022. And I guess that's all is that all I need to say?
Yeah, I think so.
We're canceling it, we're vacating it. I assume the city will be filing some sort of a satisfaction of lien, and you should be getting a copy of that after it's recorded. I guess that's how it works.
Yeah, I think we do a release.
Yeah, I'll do a release.
All right, then I will authorize, then I'll specifically order the issuance of a release of lien. Very good. All right, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. All right, miscellaneous business 1, 540B LLC, North Beach Street. Yes, sir, if you would please state your name.
Elon Schlockett?
Elon what now?
Schlockett.
Are you saying Schlockett?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, miscellaneous business 1. What is this and why is it in front of
Let
me?
me swear him in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, first off, has there been any discussion between the parties regarding any amicable resolution of this matter?
There has been discussion, but no agreement.
All right, go ahead.
So just want to introduce myself. Thank you for taking the time. My name is Elon Schlockett, owner of Planet Granite Tile Works, Kitchens of the World, Galaxy Lighting, and Daytona Design District on Ballou Road. I'm also a general contractor under Elon Custom Homes and a realtor. We're a family business, been here for 26 years on Ballou Road. My father started the business in '97, and we've grown to have a number of locations. This case is regarding 540 Ballou Road. When we purchased 540 Ballou Road, it came with additional parcels. 540 Ballou Road was previously owned by Michael Politis, and prior to that was owned by Cadillac Buick. These previous owners allowed Waltz Transmission to park cars on the vacant land included within our parcels. Waltz has been there for 25 plus years, and we've seen cars on that property for the 26 years. You see where,
Now, what is it?
Oh, it's
Is
a
it like
transmission.
transmission thing?
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
shop.
I'm familiar with it.
So since we've been here for 26 years, cars have been on that property ever since then.
All right,
Once
is
we,
this property that you've owned that whole time?
no, so we bought the property a few years ago. When was this? I think 2021, I want to say.
So 2021 is when you buy the property.
Correct.
And Waltz has been parking cars on there forever.
Forever.
All right, go ahead.
So once we purchased the property, violations began to roll in. And then I started questioning, why are we being penalized? Are we being targeted? What's the issue? They've been there forever. So we got 3 violations. The first violation was remove existing asphalt, seed the land, and grow grass. We feel that this violation notice and remedy was misrepresented by the
Hang on a
city.
second.
Yep.
I'm looking at a notice of violation that says restriction on outside activities and uses, property maintenance, standard development approval, permits for site use, site restoration, sanitation, accessory structure without permanent structure, prohibited storage, surfacing, abutment maintenance. All right, can somebody translate that into what they were supposed to do?
Well, it was a vacant parcel that we received a complaint from the city with all the parking. As you can see, these were photos when the violation was issued.
Whose cars are all those?
So some of those are, most of those are Waltz Transmission. And
Okay, did Waltz Transmission have an agreement with you to use your property to park
we,
cars?
we allowed them to because they already had the agreement. We had no use for it at that time. So we said, yeah,
You're
just
just
keep
allowing
using.
them to use the property.
Who was?
You're just allowing them?
Yeah,
to
just
use
allowing
the
them,
property.
yep.
This is their cars.
Correct.
All right, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, there was also there was a company that was, a wrecker company that was storing junk vehicles on the property. And we originally, I guess I should start off with, we had an agreement to reduce the fines from 20,000 to 3,000. That was an agreement we had with their representative, was presented to you, and was accepted. This was, I believe, last month. And now they're coming back and saying they wanted to reduce it completely. Our position hasn't changed. We were, when you look at this case, was opened back in 2021 in August and didn't come into compliance until February of 2023, when they finally removed all the cars, removed the Connex container, the fencing.
The what?
There was a Connex storage large, it's called a Connex container.
Okay.
These 2 parcels were joined. There was 5 parcels total that were cited, that was all part of this area. The 3 parcels, the other 3 parcels came into compliance before being, having a fine issued. These 2 parcels that we're talking about, which is miscellaneous business 1 and 2 are the ones that you're seeing in the photos.
So does that mean there's $40,000 in liens on this property?
There was $40,000 in liens. We reduced each lien to $3,000 and brought it to the special magistrate, and that was agreed to. And you so ordered the $3,000 reduction payable within 30 days. Their
What was the
representative.
problem with that?
Well, after I got home, I'm thinking, we did everything that we were supposed to do.
No, you didn't.
Well, so here's a little backtrack. So when we got this land, the main issue was we need a primary structure to do a parking lot so we can allow these vehicles to use the land. So we bought the taxi cab parcel, the old taxi cab parcel. Then 510 Ballou Road became available to purchase. We ended up buying 510 Ballou Road as the primary structure because now that's already built, no need to run plumbing, electrical, whatever. And then we're going to combine all these parcels and use 510 Ballou as the primary structure. So at that time, we did site plans. We hired Pete Zahn to represent us. We got a survey. We did a site plan. We had financial burden. Excuse me. We had Walter remove the cars. We complied with every violation, removed the cars. We tried to do a permit for the fence because there was another violation for the fence of where you saw they're repo cars. They're not junk cars. They're 2-3 years old. So we couldn't even do a permit there because the city couldn't find, because there's open violations, but furthermore, there was already a fence there that Cadillac and Buick had, and the city couldn't find the permit. I highly doubt Cadillac and Buick did not pull a permit back then, but, so we ended up just removing that fence. But after all this is said and done, I mean, we've been there for 26 years trying to revamp Ballou Road. We've picked up a number of parcels. We're not here to make it look worse. We're here to make it look better. And the point is, we've complied with everything, and now everything is done, and I just don't feel that we should have additional burden to pay more fines when we already had a financial burden to get to this point today. From surveys that we couldn't even use, site plans that made no sense, all for cars that have been here for 25 years.
That it?
That's it.
Do you want me to blow holes in it, or
No, I mean, just taking into consideration, that's all.
taking lots into consideration? Is the city still inclined to accept the $3,000 per?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to order it reduced to $3,000 per, subject to being paid within 30 days. I appreciate your development plans. I appreciate your ambitions. I'm sure everything's going to look a heck of a lot better. All that having been said, Walt's car shouldn't have been there. The city asked for them to be removed. Didn't get done. I understand a lot was done.
A lot was done.
Which is
We
why
didn't
it's
sit
not-
back and do
Which
anything.
is why it's not $40,000. It's $6,000. At the same time, city had to deal with it. Between you and the city, it's a vast improvement over what it was, and I can't wait to see what it ends up being someday. But the fact
Same
of the
here.
matter is, we're here. I'll reduce the fine. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do.
Sir, last month, you reduced the fine to $3,000 per parcel and gave them 30 days to come into compliance.
Okay. That time has come and gone. Hasn't happened, which means it's back to $40,000. If you got something you want me to do, now's the time to
No,
open your
sir.
mouth and spit it out.
No,
I've
no,
already
sir.
heard from him. Let's piss off both of you while I'm here.
No, I mean, if that's the case, all I was saying, you just already had made that decision and that time has passed. This case was open for a long period of time before they came into compliance, but we are fine, the city, with a $3,000 reduction, reducing the fines to $3,000 per case.
All right, I'm going to reinstate that finding as to both of these parcels. It'll be good for 30 days. Okay? Good luck to you.
Thanks.
Anybody else I can make unhappy before the day's over?
I think we got them all.
Thank you, Tony. All right, any other business to be brought before the special magistrate?
No, we said it numerous times,
believe
no
that's it.
meeting on,
Pardon?
I said, we said it numerous times, no meeting in December.
No meeting in December, okay. I guess these places along the beach are starting to get their seawalls put together. Seems like some progress is being made there.
Yeah.
I understand that's a big bite. Okay. All right, we're adjourned.
All right.